This is Josh, Johnny, Finn, and Lucas, and welcome to our podcast. Today we want to walk you through Plato's Allegory of the Cave, a story he used to explain how people move from ignorance to true knowledge. Imagine this, a group of prisoners who have been chained inside a dark cave since birth. They can't turn their heads, so all they ever see are shadows dancing on the wall in front of them. Those shadows are cast by objects passing in front of a fire behind them. For the prisoners, those shadows are reality, because that's all they've ever known. Plato builds this story out of key symbols, and each one has a deeper meaning. The shadows represent illusions, half-truths, and the limited understanding we have when we rely only on appearances or popular opinion. The chains symbolize ignorance, habits, and social pressure that keeps people stuck, trapped in a false version of reality. The journey out of the cave stands for education and self-discovery. At first, it's painful, like leaving darkness and learning to adjust to the light. But it's also necessary if someone wants to grow. The sun represents the ultimate truth, what Plato called the form of the good. Just as the sun makes vision and life possible, the good gives meaning to knowledge and to existence itself. And finally, the return to the cave. When the freed prisoner goes back to help others, he isn't welcomed. Instead, he's misunderstood, even rejected. For Plato, this shows how society often resists or punishes those who challenge its comfortable beliefs.
So what does this mean? For Plato, real education isn't about memorizing facts. It's about transforming the soul, turning it away from shadows and toward the truth. It is about reshaping the way a person sees reality itself. But not everyone makes that ascent. Why not? Because it takes courage, discipline, and willingness to question your deepest assumptions. Many people prefer the comfort of what they already believe. The journey is difficult, and not everyone has the curiosity or resilience to see it through. That is why Plato thought only certain souls, the truly philosophical ones, could reach and embrace the truth.
Now, Plato's cave isn't just some ancient story. It's also a way to think about our own lives. So let's hear a personal example of what it felt like to move from the shadows into light.
For a while, the only news I followed came from one side of the political spectrum. That's how I kept up with current events, and honestly, I didn't question it. I assumed those sources were giving me the whole truth, but looking back, they were more like shadows on the cave wall, fragments of reality shaped by a particular perspective. In this case, the change were my attachments to that one viewpoint. I didn't even realize how much it boxed me in because everyone around me seemed to be looking at the same shadows. It felt safe and it felt easy to believe that one side had all the answers. But then cracks started to show. Friends and classmates would bring up stories I'd never even heard of, and I realized my world was filtered. Out of curiosity, I began checking out media from the other side. At first, it was uncomfortable, kind of like the prisoner in Plato's story, squinting as they first step into the sunlight. Everything felt harsh, overwhelming, even blinding. Honestly, part of me just wanted to go back to the familiar shadows. Over time, though, I adjusted. Reading and listening across perspectives helped me see a bigger picture, and the light, for me, wasn't about deciding one side was right and the other was wrong. It was realizing that the truth is complicated, and forming a thoughtful opinion means considering multiple viewpoints. In political terms, my own journey out of the cave was learning that compromise and bipartisanship aren't weaknesses, they're necessary. But just like Plato's freed prisoner, when you go back into the cave and try to share this broader perspective, not everyone wants to hear it. Some people are more comfortable staying chained to a single viewpoint. Still, for me, stepping into the light of a more balanced outlook has made me more thoughtful, less defensive, and far more open to listening.
So if we map Plato's allegory onto politics, the cave is the political world itself, the chains are our party loyalties, the shadows are the words of politicians, and the light is the wider media landscape, the fuller picture. Leaving the cave, for me, too, also meant realizing that real progress comes from compromise between political ideals.
Plato's allegory of the cave isn't just about individuals, it also applies to society as a whole. One modern cave we can all recognize is politics. Think about it this way. In today's political world, the chains are our party loyalties. They bind people to one side, often preventing them from questioning or exploring different perspectives. The shadows are the popular political figures, the ones who use powerful speeches, catchy slogans, and strong rhetoric to draw attention and gain followers. For many people, those shadows become reality, the only truth they see. Behind it all are the fire carriers, the media organizations that spread party-specific messages. They shine the fire in a certain direction, shaping how the shadows appear on the wall. And if you only look at those shadows, your view of reality stays limited. But leaving the cave in political terms means breaking free of blind loyalty. It means stepping beyond the illusion of party lines and media spin to form your own conclusions. That's uncomfortable at first, just like the prisoner squinting in the sunlight, but it opens the door to a much broader, more balanced understanding of the world. So when we look at politics through Plato's Allegory, we can see the tension between shadows and enlightenment, between staying trapped in partisan thinking and stepping out into the light of independent thought.